We live? Alright, it says I'm live at 266 kbps up. Welcome to the T1 era. Actually, I think those were T3 speeds back in the day. Anyway, alright, so the title of this stream is What's Eating Goodwill Hunting? The Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There have been a lot of people that have started to, not a lot of people, well, I guess maybe, I don't know. There have been a bunch of people that have started to notice that, even on an international stage, that what's going on in Massachusetts is not, it's not great. That it's rather problematic, and I'm gonna have to say that I kind of agree. And there's been Massachusetts has undergone okay, so we're gonna I'm just laughing because we go to boston.com and maybe it's not our VA, but I guess it is our VA. So this state is just really fucked up. And it's nowhere near as blue as people have insisted for a really long time. And the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, has really kicked that into overdrive. And this state is actually really, its apparatus is really freaking out about how much the groundswell of Republican support that there is in this state. And part of what's happened up at Beacon Hill appears to be, there are no Republicans, pretty much. They're not even an endangered species. They need to be reintroduced. It's very, very grave. And as a lifelong resident, I've watched this happen, this metamorphic change, irreversible metamorphic change, really start to instantiate around probably right as I got out of high school, 2010, 2012. It's a long time ago now. But I remember that there was just, maybe I'll go into how I know this for certain on another live stream, or maybe actually hire a videographer to put together something interesting as an anchor video. But the real thing is that this state started to move very, 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 very far left around 2010. I mean, we were in a pretty naked and open competition with California, in my opinion. And I don't think that's a great competition to get into, but, I was born in Texas. So what's happening in Massachusetts now is it appears that the upper class, which people have this really weird, confused thing about the upper class hates communism. No, the upper class loves communism. It's the middle class that doesn't like communism. The real rich people, communism's fine. It doesn't bother them because they already own the industries that are going to be grandfathered into the welfare state. So if you like, that's like, I think that's actually the line to like really draw. Like, are you actually rich? Because if you're actually rich, communism will benefit you. It sounds really, really backwards, but it's actually the truth. If you are sufficiently wealthy that you have enough tracts of lands and all this stuff, all of this stuff. Sorry, that's just actually a text relating to the current crisis that's happening. So basically, the upper class that is deeply enamored on Beacon Hill, that is deeply enamored with very far left policies, have openly revolted against everybody that voted for them, and with their remaining intense grip of power, they are going to grab it as hard as they can. And the way people blame Maura Healey, she's just a figurehead, although she is also just dastardly as well. But the upper class are going to now wash out the entire middle and lower class from the state that have been here for 40-something years or longer. They're going to push all the Irish that remain out of Southie that are still middle class. There's a whole bunch. They're going to push out a whole bunch of upper class people as well, because when I'm talking about money here, I'm talking about people with net worths of over 100 million. If you have a net worth of over 100 million, you'll probably benefit from welfare type, communist type policies, because you can, people think like communism does away with the stock market and all that stuff. It's like, no, you just don't know how the fucking money works, you goddamn dope. So, the people that supply the paper to the schools and the food to the schools and stuff like that, like, those are the czars. Those are they're very well taken care of. And if you're not, with them and their friends, life for you is going to be very difficult in Massachusetts, especially if you were here if you're from the before time and you just don't understand how the new program works. It's going to be very, very, very confusing. You see, I'll explain how the new program works. They're gonna make everything so expensive for the middle class that they have to eventually settle with getting on welfare and giving up their land and their property and all that stuff if they want to stay here. There's an outside chance that you might be able to break the gravitational field of all the inflationary pressures that are being put on Massachusetts. And those people may survive, but they'll be hated, spit upon. You're supposed to be middle class. The middle class is supposed to be poor. So get with the program. And Healy, and you're really supposed to be poor, especially if you're a conservative. And if you're not outside, and if you're outside of the 495, you're probably a conservative. Unless you're in Springfield, in which case you're probably too poor to vote. And this is just the raw doozy. All right, this state is being run into the ground like a fucking banana republic. And, the poor people that know that they're not going to make it, we're getting the fuck out of here pretty much any way we can. And we're being driven out. I mean, like, we can cover rent and everything else, and all of a sudden the energy bills just start pouring in, and it's like, this is just outrageous. And, it's like, I've been disabled for a long time, I'm kind of wondering, why my delivery fee, that's not covered, that's the rate and the fee are different. So, you get the disabled rate, but, the fee, that's still $200 to deliver your electricity less than 10 miles from the station. Get with the program. Or get ready to have to really vote these people out, really hold these people accountable. Massachusetts, you're in a fight for your life. I personally am trying to punch out. I'm done. I've been trying to tell y'all up in this state, y'all got some real pretty land and everything else, but your politics are absolutely terrible. Eventually, they're going to drive the state completely into the ground. And we're at that precipice, 100%. 100%. There aren't enough wealthy people in Massachusetts, the top 1%, to support these welfare programs. And they wouldn't accept the tax bracket that they would need to fall into in order to do so. So this whole system's done. It's over. It's fucked. The whole place is going to be like Chelsea. Or Springfield. I was fucking homeless in the North Boston Metro and Boston Metro for about 5 years. I slept on couches, slept with friends, eventually got kind of my own sort of place, but it was in a really fucked up type of situation. Got out of that situation, found a place by just absolute happenstance, very far west of the 495, where rent is also becoming a little upsetting. But at the same time, it's just like I see what's happening across the whole state. There are a few holdouts in the state that are weird. And right now I live in one of them. I won't get too specific because I value my privacy despite having a camera that faces the whole world. It's very grave. If Massachusetts doesn't understand that no, Maura Healey doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't. There's not going to be or rather, she does know what she's doing, and you're not her friend, very likely. All right. As a vagrant, I was in front of this woman when she was just a fucking clerk up in Melrose, Malden Melrose Court, and I'll just tell you right now, she's nasty. She's nasty. I also saw Road Rage Rollins up in that motherfucking court. Turned out, and those two people were friends, by the way. Make no mistake. So it's honestly even a little bit frightening to even come out and say anything quite publicly about how corrupt the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is and how dirty it likes to play. No. It's very serious here, and it's very good that the FBI is here investigating and reeling this behavior in, because it has gotten incredibly extreme. Incredibly extreme. Like, I'm afraid to speak out as an American citizen, as somebody that volunteered for the armed services. I'm afraid to speak out, but I am now. Doesn't mean I won't. This state is ridiculously corrupt to the point where it's pretty much evil. There's not honest graft or this, that, the other. It's evil. What the Healey administration is doing to the Commonwealth is evil. There's only one positive policy that I've seen her put forth, and that is getting control of the speeding problem that people in Massachusetts have on the roads. I think that is probably so far her. I've watched the dent start to happen. I think that's probably her best policy. But her policies on energy have bankrupted everybody, and she's either totally fucking incompetent or she is like enacting a communist agenda that I just delineated. It's quite serious. Like, she's literally either just did not understand that you can't go green by buying all of your gas elsewhere. That's she didn't understand that is not going green. Get the bundle. Oh, got it. Pay monies. No, thank you. Check back for more content. You hear that goddamn fucking airplane starting to take off? That's the fucking computer, man. So, I just sit back. I try and chill. But the state has made saving anything, I'm going to say it, like, literally impossible. It's literally, if you're poor, even with if you're poor, even through being a penurious asshole, you can accrue a savings. That's not really very possible in Massachusetts anymore because of the inflation that has happened on obligations like utilities. Has become so extreme that it's just not possible. It's just not possible to have a savings as a poor person. Now, for a while, that really wasn't very, you know, at a certain extent, that's always been the same in Massachusetts. But the the carrot was that the welfare benefits were still able to just barely outpace inflation enough to where you didn't have to constantly make really just sad ass choices. Just sad ass choices, man. Like me, I haven't bought like new clothes in a long time. Why? Utility bills. Ain't even playing. And I'm sure someone's like, yeah, look at the motherfucking utility bill you get with this bitch. Okay, sure. But guess what? I don't play this damn thing every day. You know? Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. What a great shot from that guy. Yeah. I moved my wing the wrong way. I moved it up. If I moved it down, I would have been fine. Anyway. That's what you get when you play against good people, folks. Get greedy, get wiped. So, yeah, there's just not a lot. Man, I really wish they... Battlefield 4's vehicle spawn was a lot more sensible. But anyway, I think the era of experimentalization that we engaged in with a lot of games in the 2020s it's gonna be over. It made money, but people are so angry about it, and now people are like, why do keep people buying video games? It's like the same reason why some people tolerate living in shitty places. It's it's all about the money. Like, can you afford it? Okay, cool. We're creatures of pretty serious habit and comfort. And so if you're gonna still be comfortable in a place, right? And you can afford to do it because moving's quite expensive. Anybody that's actually done it knows that it's very expensive. And if you've gone through it, it always sucks. It just does. It always sucks very broadly. Yeah, you got me again. Nice. But so you don't really want to do that. You don't want to just have to keep moving unnecessarily. Let's try it. Where are we at? We gotta go a bit higher than that. I cannot be greedy with these people, apparently. Nice. So Massachusetts just, but with how rather suddenly I must add. Block on warning. What the fuck? Oh, I'll lock on with weird. Oh, but unfortunately, probably attracted a lot of attention. All right, there we go. So yeah, eventually that's where. Oh, hey bud, what's up? What's up, guy? Where are you going, buddy? What's going on? Hi. Hi. What's up? God, the flanker's tough. Bye bye. Sorry, Ghost. Oh yeah, where are you going? Where are you? Oh, good shot. So yeah, let's try and stop being greedy. Actually, try and push something, do something. I had I had some okay air denials there, so I appreciate that. Anybody up in that? There you go. That's a booty boy. Like, I don't know if I would. I mean, there's only two reasons why you have that name. Jesus. So yeah, the state of Massachusetts, really has started to lose its luster. Harvard is not the institution that it was. You had the problem with Tufts. Basically, everything that I said that I uncovered that's that. Uncovered as a transient. I was like, dude, this state is really fractured. You have the far left has just a tremendous, honestly, terrifying amount of control. When the rubber starts to really meet the road here, we're going to have a problem. And here we are. The rubber hasn't just met the road, but it. The cliff is here, and we don't have to drive off of it. But the far left, which is thoroughly in control, ensconced control within the state, they're not gonna yield. And this state has actually really been this far left for a very, very, very long time. And in interacting with student bodies and so many different kinds of people through the walk of life that I found myself, I'm just like, wow, like this probably can't really, like, especially the Boston Metro, like all of a sudden it starts to explode with extremism. I'm just like, I'm not surprised. Like, how is this surprising anybody? Anybody that actually took the time to sit down and talk to somebody or take a proper survey would know that you have a real problem in this state, and that also it's a plantation. The majority of the people that graduate the state's education system never leave. So of course, this state says, yeah, we're one of the best educated states. It's all a gas. You go and actually talk to your average citizen in Massachusetts, they're pretty hard up. They're also not nearly as educated on current affairs as people would have you believe, either side of the aisle. Most of this state is vapor. And I don't know if the far left knows that. And I think they're going to try and actualize it by performing the communistic ritual that I just described earlier, but I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just going to blow everything the fuck up. And even the oligarchs that think that this might be a good way to run the state, like, you need to leave this state. You need to go to other states. Like, you need to see them. You need to see that they're big, that they're industrious, and that Massachusetts doesn't really have much. And The Massachusetts Miracles in the 1970s was a long time ago. The 128 Beltway, all that stuff. And my family directly benefited from that. To be perfectly honest, we had a defense company. So when I'm speaking from a certain level of experience here. And families, what is it? Hawthorne said that or something, and then the Departed said it. But yeah, families rise and fall in America pretty consistently. Is what it is. But I'll tell everybody here as a warning. As a warning, it's not going to be good. You're already starting to see it not be good. I'm going to just flex on you. You're Falk. 92 Xbox player. I can flex harder. People are like, a dozer build. I'm like so new to this world of like you need a class for everything in video games. And I just started playing 2042 and then only realized after I'd spec'd a whole bunch that there's like all these classes and shit. And that's like, I'm just old, bro. I'm just old and dumb. The cool thing about being a PC gamer is that, and although this isn't as serious of a concern right now, it looks so menacing with his green goblin ass motherfucking mask. All right. Yeah, buddy. All right, we're gonna make landfall right about here. All right. Doop. Bloop. Boop. All right. Now we're gonna. We're gonna do that. Doop 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 doop. Well, they go ahead and fuck around with some smoke over there. We're gonna pop one down over there. Keep fucking with their brain. Boop 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 boop. Is it still there? Oh, it's all the way down there. Oh, who cares? Oh wow. So, I have learned something new. Ow. Yes. Good. All right, now we're going to switch over to our anti-personnel fucking big booms. We're going to hang around up here. All right, we have our little flare. Yep. Uh-huh. Trying. It's AI. That's annoying. Oh, haha, yes. Oh, ow, ow, ow. See, they had to send the real beans. They had to send the real beans, and I probably would still be able to. Oh, really? Doop. Doop. Come on. Alright, I'm actually trying to zone out here a little bit. Not thinking about Massachusetts. Noise. Noise. Can I shoot those out? Damn. Oh. Guess there's a wildfire in New Jersey. My wife just texted me. It's hella serious. And that's the problem, really, where I live. If there's a really bad wildfire, none of these people here are prepared in the slightest. They're like, everything will be fine. I'm like, dude, we live in trees. Like, all right, time to switch to anti-material. Yeah, I'll pop. To reinforce, I'll make that. Absolutely. Where are you? You stupid tank. That didn't work. Literally nipped right in the bud. Oh, hey, you know, doubtful. Yeah. Boyo, do you know how to fly this thing? At least I'm gonna try and pop some fucking rounds off. If we're just gonna die. What is this motherfucking asshole doing? Trying to stay pointed with him. All right, he's not an asshole. He's a very good pilot. At least we got something out of that. Man, they really nerfed this front gun, huh? Fucking A. Wrong class button combo. It was so bad. Yeah, just try and do some commentary, try and do this, try and do that. And then it's like, actually, I kind of want to play a game. I just don't want to think about any of this shit. And I really hope I can move out of here as fast as possible. Remember, I only have my shotgun. I don't have my usual stick. Oh, God. Really? That's the amount of damage the Ranger takes now? I mean, that's tight because I like to deploy it, but... It's tight because I like to deploy it, but I don't really want to do that. Out of curiosity, what are we pulling off the wall? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, children, it's time to wake up. It's actually true. Our oldest is still napping. Oh no, was that too much? Oh no. Oh boy. All right, I don't feel as bad. That was my youngest biting their tongue by accident. 1 second. The child's tongue will be fine. Welcome to Gaming with Dad. The child's tongue will be fine. Pro tip to all the parents out there. I know I have like pretty much exactly no viewership, but freeze apple slices. Awesome. Big, thick ones so they can kind of like. And yeah, it's a very cheap currency I have found. Very, very affordable, even for broke people. Like, here's frozen apple slice. There you go, kid. And they're like rough, so they can like. I've honestly not really seen. I wish I thought of it earlier because I've not seen anything. Oh, give me that. We need some help. Give me. Come on. Now people doubt the heavy shell game, but so it wasn't me turning up the fucking game and all of a sudden the kid starts crying. Like one of his past lives, PTSD just like starts rolling through. It's like, no, not the war. Like, oh shit, I'm sorry. It's like, no, I just bit my tongue. God. Hmm? Ouch.
We got multiple tangos. Distance 200 meters. Touching tango. Tango sighted 200 meters. Touching a hostile.
Whatever.
Tango 200 meters away. We now control sector Recto. We control the majority of sectors. Good job, Nopax.
It's actually not a bad locale. I don't think. The key is to just kind of keep them suppressed.
Body runner 250 meters.
can just like get in the zone. Just like,
Allied forces now holding Sector Delta. We have majority control of the sector. Almost every sector is under our control. Keep it that way.
finding these guys at range is difficult, but I'll have to leave shortly, as you know, I've accomplished my objective. That's ridiculous. Huh. Beat. All right, bud. Private First Class Tucker. We'll see what's going on. Oh yeah, I just turned it into a game stream out of nowhere. Hi.
One of our objectives has been lost.
Come on, boy.
Attack on Bravo 1 initiated by our troops.
Just lost Sector Echo to the enemy. The enemy has been affected. They now control more sectors than us. Conquered Sector Delta.
Our troops have occupied Bravo 1.
Yeah, that's the state of Massachusetts, man. You think about it too long, you're just like, fuck. Kind of like my inability to hit the thing. What? I hear the jihadi jeep. Oh.
Taken Sector Charlie.
The hostiles control more sectors than we do. Counterattack immediately.
I guess they nerfed the heavy shells like considerably. Feels that way. Yes, Surf Rider.
Allied forces control Sector Echo. We hold more sectors than the hostiles.
At least I'm staying alive longer.
They're down to the last of their attack force. Objective is under attack. Sector Echo is in Allied hands. Echo 1 has been lost. Our troops have secured more sectors than the hostiles.
Nice. All right. Well, that just flipped that point and cost them 10, which
Our troops have taken Sector Bravo.
what's up? All right, that's a little.
Eagle rushes out.
All right. Well, the simulation's
All
over.
hostiles retreating. You've heard your rep today, no pants.
All right, so a little 20-minute interlude there. The best squad. Hey, level up. All right. Exit to menu. Because what's the point? What's the point of thinking about something if you can't think about something better, right? So yeah, Massachusetts continues to barrage missile. Sounds dope. It's just this is Massachusetts. Karen Reed trial. Corrupt ass cop. This, that, the other. Corrupt ass cop wife. Corrupt ass cop family from a corrupt ass cop town. Whole bunch of really, really, really strange details about the whole thing. Her husband winds up dead. Other cops are covering for her. apparently I heard a rumor because I'm technically a local. I mean, local to the state. I heard a rumor that what happened was there was a dog attack and it got really bad and somebody expired. I don't know if that's true. Then there's all this stuff about the fight that happened between them, like, and then exactly, and then it going to the state Supreme Court, and so much other drama. And to me, it's just like, this is a state in serious political crisis, and it's dangerous to live in a state like that. Let's see how Bostonians that were polled say Trump did. Mm-hmm. So-called sanctuary cities, but the mayor of Boston says you're a sanctuary city. Boston.com. Oh my God! Thank you, Annie. Annie Jonas, a community writer. Harvard plans, yeah, like Harvard helped make COVID, bro. Dr. Charles Lieber, look into that entire scandal where basically he ran away. Well, he was groomed and fawned over enough that he went and created a exact nut for bolt replica, maybe even better, nanotechnology lab that was at Harvard, but he did it basically for the People's Republic of China. It's a fucking mess and that's Harvard. Like, I will always remember that Harvard and Dr. Charles Lieber, to me, intimately linked. That man was apprehended by federal marshals by the fucking Biden administration during the pandemic. That's how culpable that Labor fella is. Lieber. All right. I mean, it's just what the state has been put through post-COVID by the Healy administration. I mean, it's morphed into something completely unrecognizable to me. Completely. And then when the governor's massive push to get ostensibly more voters, more permanent voters. She's taking a book out of Reagan, taking a rule out of Reagan when he ran California. Long story short, California is a uni-party state because it, for decades, allowed for illegal immigration. And now that we're consolidating as a country, because there's about to be a tremendous fight of some kind, not in this country, no. We're now faced with, probably the same thing happening in Massachusetts. The only people that would vote red in this state are people that were pretty much born before 1998, and all of those people got to get the fuck out. That appears to be the message. And it sucks to live in a state like this. Yeah, we do have some good health care. I'm happy to be able to go to MGH and get some help. But you really got to be an interesting case to get the help that you would need to get. And the people specifically, I'm going to call out the liberal Irish that are a key pillar of this new regime You guys are next. Oh, yeah. Because you're not guaranteed to vote the way the system wants you to vote. No. Plenty of cops voted for Trump. Plenty of the Irish voted for Trump. They'd vote for Trump again if they could, but they can't. All right. The real numbers as to what happened in this state, and the Dems know it. The real numbers as to what happened in this state are not good for the Democratic regime in the state. And so, they've been doing their best to massage everything as much as they can, but they better hope that all these illegal aliens fucking vote, because even if they all vote, there's a distinct chance that Massachusetts is so fucking done with Massachusetts that we vote a whole clown show of people out. I mean, the farther you get away from Boston, the more red the state is, and it's to a rather serious extent, to the point where where I am in the far-flung counties and such. I'm really in Trump country. Like, yeah, there are these enclaves of super lib, and they're really loud and crazy, and they'll engage in all kinds of theatrics. But a lot of people out here voted for Trump. And the system doesn't like that. Like, at all. Like, it doesn't like that, like, at all. And so, Healy came out to Western Mass one time. So, in my opinion, saw the Trump signs, said, fuck this place. And then literally not long after she came out to Western Mass, all of a sudden these reports started coming from Beacon Hill that due to the demographic decline in the western part of the state, they would be focusing more state funding on the eastern part of the state. Which doesn't like, the people that are out here need the same level of services that shouldn't. But to people like Healy, if you're not from the city, and you don't like what the city has to offer, fuck you. Country, that's for farms. And, she probably doesn't even understand that Massachusetts doesn't produce most of its own food. We're a net importer of literally everything, including 87% of our including essentially all of our natural gas. It's all imported. And the majority of it's imported, as I've said elsewhere, maybe in another video, at the terminal in Leverett, Massachusetts. And so Healy's idea of going green was this wonderful shell game she could play with donors and voters, which is, we're going green, and the way we're doing this, we're literally not going to have a single power plant in the entire state, basically. Like literally, no, it's not a single power plant. We'll only have power plants, and we'll phase those out too. Well, eventually, we're going to get the lobsters. I have MIT training lobsters. Senator, I have MIT training lobsters to be on a hamster wheel, so that during the annual lobster migration, not only will we be able to profit from the wonderful food item, but we'll also be able to generate electrical power from this lobster migration. Like, look, dude, the woman is she's all facial. And she's all about power. And, like, I went and I saw the, because I live really close to him. I should do that for the channel. I'm going to fucking drive by the windmills out in Weston, Mass. And I'm actually going to do something right now on this hour-long stream. I'm going to try and predict the motherfucking future, but I'm going to do it. Here's two factoids, okay, since the market's kind of doing what I said. There's going to be a forest fire in Western Massachusetts. And it's going to start because of bad maintenance on those goddamn windmills. Yup. Because somebody decided that it would be a good idea to put a gearbox filled with 5,000 gallons of motor oil at about 1,100 feet in the sky in the middle of a forest. And they thought it was such a good idea not to just do it one time, but like 11 or more. So, yeah, that's my thing. Massachusetts has set itself up for a really bizarre environmental catastrophe when or if those windmills are not properly maintained, or if one catches fire. I don't think Massachusetts has the forestry equipment to deal with a giant fucking torch of burning oil in like a huge windstorm. I just see it. There's just stuff in this state that's not being taken care of. Like, oh, I don't see it. It's not important. Like, I live near some fucking train tracks. That shit in Ohio, bro. That shit keep me awake. Cause I got tracks near my motherfucking house. They look way worse than that shit in Ohio, and they on a bridge that go right into the Connecticut River. And Norfolk Southern go all over it. I don't blame Norfolk Southern necessarily. I'm just being a cunt. So it's just the state is a mess. It refuses to examine itself. It constantly says that it's the best state in the union and this, that, the other. It does all kinds of things to mock the universe, literally. And it just has its head so far up its ass that we all know in Massachusetts that we're on some kind of fucking train to a fucking shit show. Now, me personally, I thought it was gonna erupt with Sandra Birchmore, the Sandra Birchmore controversy, but apparently the media in Massachusetts is so tight that, especially with the police, that they can keep that shit totally under wraps. Sandra Birchmore is way scarier than Karen Reed. Everybody wants to pay attention to fucking Karen Reed. Go look at the Sandra Birchmore case, where a police officer of multiple departments groomed a child until they were an adult. And then when that adult that had been abused by that person demanded that they get married now, like the fantasy that had been constructed by the abuser onto the child when they were 24, yeah, instead of doing that, he broke into her home during COVID and he killed her and by strangling her and framing it as a suicide. And the police department covered that up. And it is related, not even tangentially, to the police department. The department that covered that up is related, not even tangentially, to the police department that is involved in the Karen Reed case, which is already just like a total fucking shit show. But it's not a fucking killer, strangler cop, okay, that then goes that kills and strangles the person that they groomed for over a decade. And, you know, that's just not what this is, man. Like, this state is in a serious extremis. Excuse the toddlers, my one concurrent viewer. You know, it's just one of these things where, holy cow, like, the Sandra Birchmore case is so hair-raising at so many levels that it's I'm not at all surprised that the media echelons that be is that can you even find it on Boston.com? Sandra Birchmore. I probably have spelt the last name wrong. The killing of Sandra Birchmore. Oh, good. There's a Wikipedia article about it. There should be, because it's really fucking freaky. It's very short, but it's very fucking freaky. Yeah, Matthew Farwell, this murder from almost a half a decade ago that happened during, COVID. It is just being railroaded to the sidelines. But this thing is not going to go away because prosecutors allege that Farwell staged her body and apartment to make it appear as if Birchmore had committed suicide. This guy pleads not guilty. I believe he's probably still fucking walking among us. All right. Farwell was met at Stoughton Police Department. Yeah, Stoughton and Canton aren't like super, super duper far away. Federal said Birchmore was 12 years old. 12 years old when she joined Stoughton Explorers program in 2010. Investigators said Farwell used his authority to access, groom, sexually exploit, and ultimately sexually abuse Birchmore and continue. I spelled it a little different. And continue to have sex with her until she became an adult. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that's going on with Massachusetts police. There is a problem with this site. My children make noise. I love them. They make noise. Yeah, so we're going to see if this old school search style, like look at the cybersecurity on this. Literally just a question mark, S equal. And you can just inject however much bullshit you want in the search. Error code 503. Oh. Yeah, we'll try it this way. Continue without supporting. Try again. That's weird. Weird, folks. Hold on, Celtics. Could also just be that their website sucks. Yeah, their website just sucks. I'll go with their website sucks rather than somebody is attempting to have you not look up Sandra Birchmore. Yeah, so that case happened. Everybody wants to pay attention to the Karen Reed case. You know, this cop, he says, I didn't kill nobody. I was just touching on this girl her whole life. I didn't do nothing. Yeah, that's the problem with this state. It's been very soft on certain kinds of crime. Those are corruption and sexual exploitation. It's been very, very soft on them. It's been very hard on other kinds of crime. Gun crime, this, that, the other. But the rot is here. The crimes that we did not handle as a society in Massachusetts are destroying it. Absolutely. Absolutely destroying it. Sexual exploitation now that's just running rampant in the school system. It's been this way for a number of years. And to me, as a person that's religious, I go, well, this is clearly a condemnation from God. We are being damned. We are being damned by the Almighty. Well, I try and live as reasonable a life as I can. But I'm here to say that if you're in an area where it's just really, really rough, it's just that bad, there's just that much flagrancy, you should get the fuck out of there. And that's what a lot of people are doing with Massachusetts. A lot of rich people, too. The state's just gone haywire.